ready, and racing.
Welcome to the Dogcast for Greyhound Racing SA. Visit grsa.com.au.
Welcome, the latest edition of the Dogcast, brought to you by Greyhound Racing SA. I'm Brenton, Yates, your host for today, alongside Greyhound Racing SA's racing manager, Shaun Mathieson. And Matho, we have got another big week of greyhound racing. It just continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a big show coming up today, all highlighted, and heading towards the Gawler Cup final on Sunday night. But plenty to review as well, Yatesy. I mean, we had our Group 1 Adelaide Cup final run and won, which created plenty of excitement. Yeah. Probably not the way some people thought, but Buzz Junkie got the job done there at 100 to 1. I don't know if any of your money was on it. But, plenty to review and a big show coming up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A terrific night. So we'll preview that big night at Gawler. We've got the Group 3 Gawler Gold Cup. We've got the Sprint Classic as well, and there's a consolation of the Cup on that night. We'll look back at the big night, as you touched on, Matho, the Adelaide Cup, all the way back a couple of weeks ago now. And our interview today, it's going to be with Victorian trainer Dan Gibbons, who's already had some success here in South Australia recently, and he's got Kelsey Bale, who looks pretty hard to beat in our Gawler Gold Cup final on Sunday.
3, 2, 1.
The Week in Review.
Our Week in Review is brought to you by the Fresh Pet Food Co. They are proud suppliers of fresh pet food for our GAP SA greyhounds in the GAP prison programs. They are based right here in SA, so visit their website, freshpetfoodco.com.au for more information. Matho, the review, well, a bit to look back on. We'll get back to Monday night soon because that's the big review for the preview for Gawler, but let's go back in time a couple of weeks, the Adelaide Cup. Tell us about the night, firstly, and you're right, what an upset win. Peter Jovanovic, the trainer of Buzz Junkie, who crossed from the outside draw and stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the night itself, I mean, unfortunately, we got the weather was not fantastic, to be fair, but the crowd came. A lot of them was there for Wow, She's Fast, but obviously it's our Group 1. A lot of promotion goes into it to get people there who just are interested in greyhound racing from all walks of life. So we had a decent crowd there, to be fair. And even though the weather wasn't that great, I know the band, we had Mr. Buzzy there, and unfortunately we couldn't play their first set because it was a bit wet for them. But, hey, it all went through, and that's all part of the night, the experience. I know plenty of people had plenty of fun and excitement on the night, let alone what happened on the track. And what an amazing race it was for the Adelaide Cup final. Buzz Junkie, as you mentioned, crossed from the wide draw. I don't think anyone saw that happening at all.
Yep.
There was definitely plenty of interference, and Wow, She's Fast, got plenty of checks and found herself out the back. But, midway down the back straight, Buzz Junkie, owned locally, Nick Lally and Troy McFarlane, and trained by Peter, and it was like this was going to have a South Australian win here, which was fantastic. Crossed the line. There was a bit of a gasp with the crowd. That's what happens when big odds winners come through, but... yeah, an amazing performance. Buzz Junkie got the job done. As you said, missed all the interference from box 8. Zippy Tesla ran home well into second and Photoman into third. But it was all about Buzz Junkie and the South Australian win. And, it was 100 to 1, quoted at 50 to 1, the final quote. But, another Group 1 classic race, really.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And just goes to show you never know, do you? You got to be there to do it. And they were there and got it done.
Well, I think that's the case. I mean... clearly at 100 to 1, it's not one of the favoured runners, but you got to make the final. The Buzz Junkie won his way through to the heat, and you can't win it unless you're there. And so he had every chance, and that's why there's hope for every single person going around. You got to be in the race to win it. And so once you get there, that's the big part of the job done, and it's a credit to them. I know the dog. They've done a lot of work with the dog to get it to the point of him being really competitive at this level, and he got the job done. And I believe he's now headed back to New South Wales, Yatesy,
right?
Back to the trainers back there. But I definitely think you'll see him on the group stage. I know they're targeting some races in Victoria, so that'll be terrific. But still owned locally, which again is just a terrific thing for our owners, people who want to get involved in greyhound racing. Anyone can have the thrill that the owners did on the night.
Yeah, and look, they've been a bit of a tough time as well for some of the ownership there too. So what a great success, and well done to Peter Jovanovic.
Great training performance, Yatesy, as well. He's only had the dog for a short period of time. We know he's a master trainer, And anything that's in P. Jovanovic's name, you've got to fully respect. He knows how to win big races, and I was really emotional on the dais after the race with the owners and with Peter, because these are the races that the SA people want to win. You want to win your hometown Group 1, and it happened a few weeks ago.
Not only that, you want to win it, but you go there not thinking you can, probably. I don't know, I'm not in their head, but I would imagine at 100s, with Wow She's Fast in the race, and given what we've seen, you're probably going there and there's an element of hope, but it's probably hollow hope. You sort of, we're there, but that's about it. But then the box is open, and then Wow She's Fast gets crowded, and then Mally Magic shifts out, and then all of a sudden you're out wide and you find the lead. Now you're starting to cheer, and then the way he extended down the back and put the race away, I really was waiting for something to come out, but no, just on the lure and kept humming.
Yeah.
And, what a great thrill.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I know a lot of the talk was about Wow She's Fast prior to the race, and we really appreciate Jackie and Kel Greeno bringing her across and going through the series, and by all reports, she's pulled up okay afterwards, a little bit sore, but she's okay, and she'll progress through her Group 1 campaign and be hopefully a dominant player as we go into the later in the year. But, South Australia to the fore, winning our hometown Group 1. A wonderful night, and it was a wonderful night, even though the rain was a bit on and off. But, the Adelaide Cup on that Friday night is always a great experience for everyone who's there.
A couple of other winners we'll touch on. The Premier's Cup winner, Fantastic Radley, running a track record, straight to the lead. Brilliant. Yeah,
brilliant, as you mentioned. I mean, he's been getting super close to that track record every time he goes around. He's been such a dominant stayer, hasn't he? I think he on the dice are saying he's undefeated in 12 Angle Park runs, 15 of 16, just amazing. I know he's got a slight setback, so you might not see him for a couple of weeks.
Right.
But no doubt he'll be targeting some races interstate, no doubt. But yeah, track record performance and terrific for Elizabeth and Aussie Chegia.
And Enthusiastic was just able to hold off the quick finisher, taking out the Country Cup. It was the Gawler rep?
Gawler rep for Nikki Price, yeah. Enthusiastic was able to lead and really pinched a break and held on really well from Fantastic Faith, who rocketed home and just had a run like Jess. But really one of the, one of the more emotional wins on the night. There was a huge crowd on the dice as well, with Nikki and a lot of friends and family and supporters who'd all made the trip. So terrific for them to get that Country Cup win on the night.
And Hilltop Jack took out the consolation of the Adelaide Cup.
Yeah, I mean, he was first reserve for the Cup, Yatesy, so we know what a quality performer he is. And for David Gill, and he really put them away early. I mean, he was able to rocket to the lead down the back and ran 30.52, won by over 8 lengths. He just put them away and showed his class.
Yeah, and of course he went around on Monday night. He finished down the track, just found a bit of bother at a crucial stage early in the race and was cluttered away in the heats of the Gawler Gold Cup. So let's get to those.
Yeah.
Monday night we had 6 heats of the Gawler Gold Cup, and the opening heat was taken out by the Tim Aloisi train Propelled.
Yeah, and Tim's done a great job with this dog. Only new to his kennel, only had a couple of runs. We saw him win at Angle Park 2 starts ago. Stepped out in the heat of the Gawler Cup and got the job done. Very professional, sat on speed and then raced away, 30.57. Basil Brush Rose for Renata Marichik ran a bottler of a race, a grade 6 dog, running second, and is one of the reserves for the final. Victor Grosso was the hot pot in the race.
Yeah.
What did you make of his run? He didn't get a lot of luck. He got crowded early.
Yeah, he didn't begin. Got into a bit of traffic. Didn't pull a stack of ground away from those up front, but was never really in the race for mine. The short price favourite, but there was no stage where you felt he was a chance to sort of come and win, which is a bit unusual for him because he's generally puts himself right in everything. And we'll look to see where he goes next. What about the second heat? So McKeon Bale went back through the field in this race. Looked the winner coming off the back, but Silverstone ended up coming through with a win, holding off Fabulous Ebony, who finished quickly. Now, they went 30.86, slowest heat, I think it was, for the night. Yeah, the race really changed complexion off the back straight with McKeon Bale. But yeah, Silverstone did a good job. He's been a good dog for Ray Murray, and he's got a string of wins there at Gawler. He does love the Gawler venue. Was able to get the job done, 30.86, as I said, got that lucky run through. Fabulous Ebony charged home, going really well as well. Charged home in a second, only beaten a neck, unfortunately. One of the slower heat wins, but as we mentioned through the Adelaide Cup preview, you've got to be in it to win it, and Silverstone's made it through.
So good luck to them. But, probably a touch lucky that the run came, but they were there for the win and they got the job done.
Now, the next win was quite extraordinary. Kelsey Bale, who is going to start favourite, I'd imagine. Actually, I did have a market here. I'll drag that up for you as we look into the full preview situation. But look, back on Monday night, this was quite an extraordinary win. Can you take us through this race? And early markets, the tab fixed, Matho, was $2.40 for Kelsey Bale and Fave.
Yeah, well, I think anyone who saw her performance would say she was going to start favourite no matter where she drew and who was in the field. She was $1.25 Yatesy for this heat, which I thought, geez, box 8 at Gawler, short run to the first turn.
Yep.
It's really short. She had good form coming into the series and she missed the kick. A dog, unfortunately, found some trouble and fell in front of her. She just avoided it.
Yeah.
She weaved her way through down the back straight. Off the back straight, you think, oh, no, she might be a chance to run a place or get the win. Turning for home, she was going 2 to their 1. And Yatesy, I don't know if you've seen many dogs. You've seen plenty of dogs at Gawler.
Yeah.
She put them away in emphatic fashion down the front straight, winning by over 4 lengths. Pretty breathtaking, her performance. What did you make of it?
Well, look, you're right. I've never seen anything like it at Gawler. It's sometimes when you're calling a race, you get a feeling like you can see things happening, but there's a feeling within you that you think, oh goodness, this is something that I haven't seen, or this has got some element of strength about it that you haven't felt before. And that was the case with this dog, because you're right, it missed the kick. Not only missed it, was like a length back. So then going to the first turn, was able to sort of get over to 2 or 3 off, where I think it might prefer to race, but we'll ask Dan Gibbons about that a bit later. But then avoided the faller somehow. So we're talking, it couldn't possibly have the momentum it wants at this stage of the race.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? Then it's got to build up and get going. What it did down the back, to me, that's the breathtaking part. That's the bit where you go, hang on, what's happening here? And then in the home straight, to then put 5 on them, or whatever the margin was, you just don't see it. And then you look at the clock and you go, wow. So it's run tick outside best, 30-38, I think it was it?
30-38.
So Came and Went was the best. It was in front, had it unchecked and everything its way. Came and Went, we'll get to that race. But to do what it did, and then you look at the clock and you go, well, gee, there's got to be 2 or 3 lengths improvement possibly there. You know what I mean? And you think, gee, how are they going to beat this? Particularly with the venom, if you like, that it came into the race. It just really tore away. It was super impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we do see some performances where you go, geez, that's a good run from the back, found trouble, rocketed home, and then you look at the time and you go, okay, well, you can see why, because the time's not necessarily there, but 30-38, like, they do not go any faster at Gawler, and to run that time from where she was, as I mentioned, the talk of the night was, it doesn't matter where she draws, it doesn't matter anything, she'll just be favourite. Now, we saw with Wow She's Fast in the Adelaide Cup, they still have to win it, they've got to put it all together, but you've got to think, as you mentioned, she's got to have improvement in her, and, I mean, what can she do if she actually has clear running and jumps, you know? Yeah. So really exciting for Dan Gibbons. He's got a really exciting team and really exciting for Sunday night. She is definitely a dog you want to go and see on Sunday night.
Absolutely. What about Vadim Roz? He gets Charlie's Misty back through to another big final and coming through with a 30-68 win, holding off Winnington Bale. And from a future perspective, top quality was a nice sort of run for Ben Rawlings.
Absolutely, yeah. I think with Vadim, I think with Charlie's Misty, the best thing for her, you know, when she's going to run well is when she's double figure odds. Yeah, because she's a giant killer when she gets to those sort of odds, and we know she's got speed, she's got stamina, but she actually did a good job on Monday night because she didn't lead, she was pressured, she got headed, she was second, she came again, and she ended up winning the race 30-68. Terrific for Vadim. But as mentioned, she does seem to run her best when she's big odds or when she's not expected to. And that will be the case in the final on Sunday night. So she's definitely an each-way player. Vadim's done a great job with her, as you mentioned, Winnington Bale, and then top quality for Ben Rawlings. Didn't have a lot of luck. I'd say next start for top quality, if he's in the consolation, draws well, he'll be improved because I think he's a dog on the way up.
What was the race? She was 50s. Was it the SA Sprint Championship?
Yeah.
Charlie's Misty?
Yeah, when Fly for Tricks won it at about 16-1 and Charlie's Misty was 50s and just got nosed out on the night. Vadam could have been off to Sydney. But, I mean, well, he ended up going to Sydney anyway because he made the $1 million chase semi-finals by qualifying through Broken Hill.
That's right, yeah.
So her record's pretty good, actually, Charlie's Misty. Full credit to her, but it does seem strange when she's got those sort of double-figure odds. She's a big chance.
What about came and went for another one for Ray Murray? Got another one through to the final, and this was textbook.
It was, yeah. Led, very professional dog, as we know. He does love Gawler, but he loves all tracks. He led, he won. He ran 30-37. He's not been caught running that time in a heat of the Gawler Cup. So, as mentioned, very professional dog. He did everything he needed to. Victor Reid was a really good run for Lisa Rasmussen. Got home really well, 30-48. Now, Yates, that would have won a heat or two. But he got home really well for Lisa. But take nothing away from the winner. Leads, wins, is really hard to beat.
Final heat, we had Spring Phoebe carve over from the outside draw, grab the front and too good.
Yeah, for Ben Rawlings, great that Ben got a dog through to the final. And Spring Phoebe, she's been a terrific dog for the connections over a long period of time, and she's another one. She's pretty faultless with her beginnings. She ran a 3:15 first split, led and really pinched a break while there was a little bit of trouble in behind with Springvale Max and Hilltop Jack. Not getting a lot of clear running late, but take nothing away from her. She ran the time. She let him up. Windburn Flash for Jason Newman ran a nice race into second ahead of Webb Lake Flame. But, yeah, she found her way through the final win with her speed. Yatesy, she's always a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll touch on that because I think that early speed battle is going to be crucial in the final. So we'll get to that. We're big review. We've covered a lot of ground there, but it's all good stuff. Coming up next, we're going to check out the big night on Sunday, and no doubt Matho's got a winner for us tomorrow night.
3, 2, 1.
The preview.
Yes, the preview is brought to you by the 2022 Gawler Gold Cup this Sunday night at Gawler. Gates open at 4:30 p.m, so it's free to get in. The Rotary Club will be there at the gate, though, taking a gold coin donation as well, so look out for them. Food truck vans inside. There'll be bars and also the tab facilities and great activities for the kids. So it's going to be a terrific night on Sunday, Gawler Gold Cup night. Always a big crowd, Matho, and the locals certainly get around and enjoy themselves. Yeah,
I mean, it's part of sort of that northern carnival that they're sort of having up there at the moment. A week of wonderful racing in the north, and they're great supporters of their racing, and I know that they always get a good crowd there for the Gawler Cup on Sunday night. So make no mistake, it's a race not to be missed and a bit of an event not to be missed. There'll be plenty of activities there for the kids and the family. I encourage everyone to get there.
What about the box draw for the Gawler Gold Cup, Matho? Can you run through that and the tab fixed markets? I think you've got the prices there as well. Okay,
so the box draw, which was done on Monday night, one is Silverstone at $12. Came and went out of the two, also both those for Ray Murray at $3.10. Kelsey Bale out of the three for Dan Gibbons at $2.40 and favourite. Spring Phoebe out of the four for Ben Rawlings at $10. Charlie's Misty out of the five for Vadam Ros, $19. 6 Propelled Tim Aloisi, $12s. 7 Impress Us, the third of the Ray Murray team, $26. The 8, the pink Victor Reid for Lisa Rasmussen at $5. Reserves Winnington Bale for Dan Gibbons and Basil Brush Rose for Renata Maricek. And that market, Yatesy, $2.40 Kelsey Bale just ahead of Came and Went, $3.10 with Victor Reid at $5. Do you reckon they've got that pretty right?
Yeah, I'd have to have Kelsey shorter.
Yeah.
I'd have it probably closer to even money, to be honest. Just the fact of what it did in the heats. And look, it's not guaranteed, but you would think there's some improvement there, as we've already touched on. To me, the crucial part to this race is the speed battle. Now, we had a bit of a chat off air, actually, about Kelsey Bale missing the kick, and you sort of had a bit of a view, or not a view, it was a fact, that before its 2 runs prior to that, it actually had a good start to the race. So my question to you, because you've obviously had a really strong look around its previous form before coming here, but where do you think it's all going to happen? Because to me, I think it's better off missing it a bit, because I think Came and went, Spring Phoebe, Charlie's Misty, even Propelled. Like, it's just going to be a mad charge to the first turn. And if Kelsey comes out as well, to me, that puts a different spin on the race. So I'm not as confident, believe it or not, if she can get out with them. I think there could be trouble. I really do. What do you think?
Well, yeah, we might have had this similar discussion for the Adelaide Cup, actually, with the amount of speed. But there's clearly no doubt Came and Went and Spring Phoebe are pretty faultless beginners in particular. Charlie's Misty can be hit and miss, but we know she can begin. And as you mentioned, Propelled can come out. Out wide, Impress Us and Victor Reid, they like to sit wide and they don't really come out. And Silverstone...
But Propel will want to get to the rail, won't it?
He will, yeah. But, I mean, he's probably going to miss, the likes of Charlie's Misty, Spring Phoebe should all be out in front. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit of the view, so long as Kelsey Bale just gets around the first turn without really too much trouble, and if she actually finds her way towards the rails, as you mentioned in the review, that mid-race where she sets the race up, definitely she has to come past other dogs. I couldn't see her beginning as well as Came and Went and Spring Phoebe.
Can you see her being in a squeeze there, though, or not? Or do you think she can bullock through, hold a position, and then she's got the strength to just go through them?
Yeah, I actually think that she's got the strength to go through them, to be honest. I think even if she began better than expected, I don't think that's a huge problem because I think that she can be strong enough to hold her position, even if she missed it a slight little bit. So long as she just gets around the first turn and avoids if there is any trouble, right?
Yeah.
I think she'll be okay because her mid-race is exceptional, but it would not surprise me if she just comes out with Came and Went, holds Spring Phoebe out, or even if Spring Phoebe begins really well and goes past them, I think she'll be in that third, fourth position, I think, and in a really striking position. But it is a concern with the amount of speed that is around her, right? I would have probably preferred her to be actually drawn wider, to be fair, than at least she can just avoid anything, just get around the first turn. So what are you looking at? Who do you think will lead then?
Look, I think Came and Went's a good chance to poke up. I think Spring Phoebe and Charlie's Misty can both come out if Came and Went sort of is half hesitant. And Propelled, it's not super out of boxes, but it can sort of muster and it's going to put inside pressure, I think. Like, I feel like it's going to want to be pushing over. And I think it's probably going to miss... I think Charlie's Misty can get out quicker than it, so I think it's going to be pushing over just in behind, even onto a Kelsey or something like that. So I thought outside the favourite. Now, look, Came and Went has got all the credentials, but I've only got it in third because I really was impressed with Victor Reid. The way it took ground off the winner is drawn where it doesn't really hate, so it can stay up the track. If there's any sort of this, what we're talking about going on in the first turn, Victor Reid's not going to see it. It's going to be off enough, in my view, to be missing all that. It's got a nice little balance and mid-race move, and the way it hit the line the other night, I was really impressed. I thought it was the second best run in the series, despite Came and Went going the quickest, who I've only got in third. That said, Came and Went can come out and be textbook again and win. You know what I mean? So they're the top three for me. I feel like one of those three wins. I was strong leaning to Kelsey. I thought Victor Reid was overs at the $5, and Came and Went, I think you've got to have in somewhere.
If there is trouble, as we touched on, we missed Buzz Junkie. If there was trouble at each way odds, is there a 100-1 shot, Yatesy, getting up here?
Well, I mean, what's Vadim going to do with Charlie's? If we got the double figure odds there, you never know.
She's $19. If she blows out the 30s, I reckon that's the time to get on her.
Yeah. Look, I thought Impress Us it's a really intriguing final. I mean, Kelsey to me is the one. Because a lot of these are going to need some things going their way. All she needs is things not going against her too bad. Like, she can cope with a bit of interference. She can cope with a bit of bad luck and still win. There's some of these I don't think can do that. They need to have it run in their favour and can win if that happens, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, the most interesting part, obviously, the Gawler 531 is the short run to the first turn, which does really open it up, that dogs with high speed, they can pinch a break on a hot field like this and really, kick clear and hang on. Or the good dogs, they can sort of dominate early and then just set the race up for them late. So it's the 531, the start with a really short run to the first turn. It really makes it an interesting event. And I mean, last year, I think Victor Grosso set up similar to last year was what Kelsey Bale will. there was a pressure early. He got a nice run through and a nice sit, and he was able to rock it home and get the job done. I'm thinking Kelsey Bale might do that. That's what I'm thinking.
And what about Major the year before? I reckon it was a similar one. It sort of sat in behind and sort of finished late. So that might be the pattern. Okay, sounds like we're both with the fave. And only bad luck could be the undoing. What about Thursday night, Matho? What do you got there for a best bet for us?
Well, Thursday night, I've gone to the last race, so hopefully you haven't selected in the same race as me.
No, I haven't.
Okay,
no.
So we're going to go race 12, number 8, Run Like Jess for Adrian Chevalier. Steps back up to the 595. Adrian's been doing a great job with him. He's been a bit unlucky his last couple of runs over the 530. He was getting home really well, second behind Express Speed last start. 595. I think you've got to wait for race 12, number 8. And I know that Adrian is probably a bit annoyed. He's come from box 8, I think, his last 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah.
But I think you'll get the job done for you, Adrian. So there you go, box 8 for you.
And won 4 of 7 over the track and trip. So has really built a nice record. I've got a couple of them. I've gone with 2. One that is a bit shorter and one that's a bit longer. So I like race 6, number 7, Finis Redeem. It's coming through into the Classic Prelude, the final there. And I really liked the way it was able to drive over, grab the front, too strong. Springvale Jess looked a fleeting hope down the running, but then was strong to the line. What I like about it, it was coming up from the 342 metres the run before, so it had been like nearly 3 weeks before it had a 500 run, and it had that little 342 run in between. I think it's going to be even better, and there's no speed underneath for me. I mean, Blue Bouquet, Sono Griffin, Maestro Luke, Springvale Jess may be the one that will be poking through, but I just think he's able to work over and grab the front. So he's the one for me. The other one that I thought was luckless the other night and just seemed to be about to come into the race the way it likes to was on the Tequila. So it's race 8, number 6. It'll be odds because this is a nice little race. And she copped a whack at a crucial stage. I really like the way she got going again. And look, she was beaten nearly 6 lengths, but the run had merit for me, and I think you're going to get a nice price, and I'd like to be on race 8, number 6 at a bit of value. Yeah,
well, vacant box on her inside. She does like a wideish draw as well on the Tequila. So as long as she gets that clear running early, but as you mentioned, it's a wide open race, that one, so you should get some good odds there.
All right, terrific stuff. That's our look at the Gawler Gold Cup for Sunday, and then our best bets for Thursday night at Angle Park. Daniel Gibbons up next. He's the trainer of the favourite for the Gawler Gold Cup, Kelsey Bale.
The interview.
We've got a big night coming up on Sunday night, the Gawler Gold Cup final, Group 3. It's going to be a big night and a man with a big hand in the race. He's got the favourite, Kelsey Bale. Dan Gibbons has been kind enough to give us his time on the Dogcast. Dan, thanks for joining us and congratulations on getting through.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
You've had some nice recent success here in South Australia, and you've been a real big supporter of racing here.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to win a big race in Melbourne at the moment. There's way too many good dogs, so we're trying to sneak over there to try and get a couple.
But you've also been through to our Mount Gambier Cup Series, and now you've headed towards Gawler. As you mentioned, I mean, the racing's hard in Victoria to win sort of group feature races. Is that sort of we're going to see more of you as the months and years go on?
Yeah, I think we will. It's not too hard to travel over there. With the dogs seem to be travelling all right. Well, the ones we're kind of picking and choosing go all right. But yeah, it's not even just feature races in Melbourne. Even just the city races hard to win here at the moment. There's just that many good dogs around. It's hard to compete with them all.
What about out of your team, Dan? Where do you rate Kelsey Bale? We're just having a chat earlier on in this Dogcast. Just what was able to happen there on Monday night was quite extraordinary. The way picked up and really put them to the sword.
Yeah, she's not quite the full package yet, but she's definitely up there. She's a really strange dog. She can ping the lids and then smash the first and second splits and then tire in the run home. Otherwise, or she can do the opposite. She'll miss the start and fly home. So I think once she puts all of it together, she's going to be a really, really good dog.
Well, I think, Dan, in looking at her form, she came up $1.25 in the heat, which box 8, that short run at Gawler to the first turn, I think people might have been thinking, geez, $1.25. Now, she put that to bed pretty clearly after the race. That was a fair quote for her based on her performance. But her last couple of runs, she was able to lead and win quite impressively, but then prior to that, she'd run around in the $1 Million Chase semi-finals where she got back in the field and ran home strongly behind the likes of, Gatlin, Panama Pepper, all these Group 1 dogs. So, yeah, she is a bit of an interesting dog that she's not one-dimensional. She can lead or she can run home. Not too many dogs have that, and pretty exciting in the future.
Yeah, she's definitely hard to follow, though, because you can't pick whether she's going to jump or not. And at the moment, she's not doing both in the same race. So she'll either ping and lead real strong and tire, or she'll do the opposite, and she'll come out slow but run home like a train. So, yeah, like I said, when she gets the start and finish together, she'll be a hard dog to beat.
Yeah, but the point of what Shaun has touched on and what you're talking about, it's actually quite extraordinary from a physiological perspective, I would have thought, because generally you've got a bit of fast twitch fibre or you're a bit stronger at the end. Normally you can't just change it around in the run. I mean, the physical makeup of her, that seems very strange to me to race in that style, to have speed and then tire, or to have no speed and be strong. It's as though they're two different dogs.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, you don't know what dog you're going to get on the day. But it's almost like if she's losing, she really, really just wants to win.
Right.
And then if she's in front, she kind of knows she's got the race won, and she won't keep using all of her energy. Like, she'll just stay in front.
Now, Dan, the final obviously was the heats were run on Monday night, and we've got the final on Sunday night. She's come up with box 3. Were you able to have a look at the other heats and the other dogs drawn around you? And what's your take on it? We've spoken about on the show previously, Cayman Wentz drawn on your inside and Spring Phoebe on your outside. They're both dogs who have really good speed early and are pretty faultless beginners. Kelsey's in between them. What's your sort of take on looking at where she has drawn with the other dogs around her on Sunday night?
Yeah, I think it's a horrible box draw for her, just because if she does miss the start again, she's going to have to try and burrow her way through the middle of the field rather than running around it. And I think she might get stuck a bit.
Could you see her, if she hit it, could you see her leading, or do you reckon? Well, as you said, you don't know if she's going to either hit it or not. But if she did hit it, I mean, she ran 30-38.
I think if she can just jump with them, I think she's a massive chance. But if she misses it like she did last week, those two either side of her, I think, will just close the gap, and she won't really have anywhere to go.
I was hoping she would half miss it a bit. I was hoping she was a length or two slow and was able to sit just in behind. And that power that she produced the other night, I understand there's going to need an opening to come, but from what I saw there, I mean, if there's one, she's going to take it. But this starting situation, I mean, as a trainer, no doubt you're trying to unravel and find secrets. I mean, are you trying different things to get her to begin? And are you noticing any patterns as to what's sort of working and not, or it's still all a bit of a puzzle at this stage?
No, it's funny you say that. We have tried heaps of different things. Like over in Victoria, we've got the slats in the boxes. We try and set her feet different each start. And I was talking to Beck, because I've handled her probably 99% of her starts, and that was the first time Beck's handled her in a while. I said to her, make sure you give her 2 little taps on the bum and say, good girl, before she jumps. And straight after the race, I messaged her and said, you didn't tap her on the bum, did you? But she reckons she did, so I don't know.
Well, will you be coming across on Sunday night, Dan, or will you be back handling the team for you?
We haven't decided yet. She had a horrible time going over there and coming home with McKean.
Yeah.
McKean was one of her favourites, and it was just a long trip home. So I think if she's not up to it, I'm happy to go. But, yeah, we haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Well, mate, we wish you all the best. We really appreciate your time. And, look, I've caught a lot of races at Gawler, and I've never seen anything like I saw on Monday night, just in relation to the strength and power and what we would consider to be some probably improvement to come, given the start of the race. So, look, all the best. And and maybe let's hope the bum tap happens, eh? Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Good on you. There he is, Dan Gibbons, trainer of Kelsey Bale. Matho, massive chance. Our tab fix favourite for the big one.
Absolutely, yeah. Great insights there from Dan. Great supporter, as he's mentioned, of SA Racing. We love to see them here in South Australia and look forward to the success. Hopefully she runs a big race for them on Sunday night, but clearly a dog to follow in the future as well, Yates.
Yeah, absolutely. There seems to be, some real excitement once everything is put together at both ends. Matho, great stuff. Another good show. We'll catch you next time, mate, eh?
Yep, look forward to it.
All right, thanks for tuning into the Dogcast. Good luck to all connections in the Gawler Gold Cup. We hope to see you all Sunday night at the track.